But first, we go to Alabama Senator, the coach, Tommy Tuberville. Senator, good to see you. As you know, Dagan and I know, American people, we all know this economy is an absolute wreck. And Joe Biden seems to do everything that's wrong. So whether he's borrowing and spending, giving away student loan forgiveness, he wants to raise taxes, everything he does is making things worse, Senator.
He is running small business out of business. We've lost hundreds of them since he's taken office. Listen to this. We've lost 150,000 farmers, small farms, in the last 3 years. Think about that now. And it's not because of we don't have enough tariffs on other people across the world. It's because of EPA regulations that the Joe Biden administration is putting on our farmers and the businesses, running them out of business. So he's very successful in putting people out of work.
This is 3.5 years, but, Coach, I'm going to call you that, Senator. What he does between now and the election, it could be catastrophic, because we can argue about the tariffs, but everything that he is doing is making inflation worse, which is the #1 issue. And this is Brian Riedel and me parsing his words, but every single damn economic policy that he is implementing, so runaway spending, these student loan bailouts, inflationary, tariffs, Buy America, the new housing subsidies, he's talking about $400 tax credits a month to help people buy homes. That's going to make home prices go up even more. He is creating inflation in the name of fighting it. It's insanity.
Well, let me tell you how he's creating inflation. We're printing, and we're borrowing $80,000 a second. Now, I want you to think about that. 4.6 million a minute. Joe Biden is borrowing or printing for this country. There is so much money that we flushed out, Dagan, since I've taken office 3.5 years ago. You know, the first CARES Act that he implemented when he got in, we didn't need that, but he pushed a couple $1 trillion out there. Then we did the Infrastructure Act, which I'm great for infrastructure, but I don't want to send it overseas for climate change, and that's where most of this money went. Then the Inflation Reduction Act, which was a complete joke that they passed. We have put more money out there that we didn't need to, that has actually hurt the American people. Now, we might have helped people all over the world, but we hurt small businesses. We hurt the taxpayers of this country.
And on the same point, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, he was partying in Ukraine, celebrating after the United States sent over $61 billion in aid for the war-torn country. And by the way, his trip is also at taxpayers' expense. And the problem on the point of this conversation is we're $34 trillion in debt, Senator. And these guys spend like they're drunken sailors. Yeah.
And, you know, I was for Ukraine holding their own against Russia. They can't do that. They can't win this. But we keep flushing money in there. And you know it's not going to the right places. They're the most corrupt country in the world. They're trying to get a little bit of their ground back. And then somebody's going to have to go, President Trump probably, go in there and try to do a deal. Joe Biden has no diplomacy whatsoever. Somebody get this war over with. Get it over with and save some of the people in Ukraine. It is a disaster, and we're continuing to push the scenario by flushing money in there. Money doesn't win wars. People win wars, and they don't have enough people to win this war.
No doubt. Senator, stick around with us. We want to go check out another story. We're going to come back to you in a moment.
Yeah, and you know what's going to keep going up? Interest rates and mortgage rates, because the Federal Reserve has to hike to offset all the inflationary spending. Meantime, former President Trump's defense attorneys begin their cross-examination of serial liar, perjurer, convicted felon Michael Cohen earlier today in President Trump's New York hush money trial.
Fox News correspondent Nate Foy is live outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with all the details. Hey, Nate.
Hey, Sean and Dagan. So, yeah, Michael Cohen on the witness stand today admitted that he wants to see former President Donald Trump convicted in this case. Despite that, while leaving court, Trump said that it was a good day. He said that his lawyers are exposing this case for the scam that it is, in his words. He can't publicly direct any comments towards Cohen because of the court's gag order, but he did say this while leaving court tonight.
You have a constitutional problem without ability to say anything about your own case. I am not allowed to talk about big portions of my case.
So on the stand today, Cohen admitted to profiting off his fractured relationship with Trump. During his direct examination, prosecutors got the jury ready for Cohen's credibility concerns. Cohen admitted to lying before Congress in 2017 and again lying to special counsel prosecutors during the Mueller investigation. Cohen said his loyalty to Trump changed when he pleaded guilty to federal campaign finance violations and tax evasion in 2018. Blanche asked Cohen if he's obsessed with Trump, and take a look at his response. Cohen said, quote, "I don't know if I would call it obsessed. I admired him tremendously." Today, a New York appeals court denied Trump's request to overturn that gag order that we just talked about. The former president still can't talk about Cohen or any other witnesses in the case, even though Cohen has criticized Trump repeatedly throughout the trial on social media. Now, Trump denies having an affair with Stormy Daniels and says all payments to Cohen were legitimate legal expenses. Now, Cohen is the prosecution's final witness. He'll take the stand with his cross-examination resuming Thursday morning at 9:30. After that, Trump's lawyers will have the opportunity to bring their own witnesses forward. As for Trump's schedule, he's attending a fundraiser tonight hosted by GOP billionaire donors. We'll send it back to you.
Wild and sad times. Nate Foy, thank you.
And apparently Michael Cohen has not proven fraudulent intent or the underlying crime. So there you go. Senator, you're one of several Trump allies who showed up at the Manhattan courthouse in support of former President Trump. Why is that important, not just for you to be there, but today it was Vivek Ramaswamy, among many individuals. Why was that important? Why is that important for the American people to see?
Well, first of all, go support our friend and hopefully future president. He's really the only one that's in the race now that can turn this country back around. We're about to lose our country as we speak with all these Democratic policies. But the other one is to go up and be a voice for President Trump. You know, he can't, he's got a gag order on him. He's the only one in the courtroom. Everybody else can run their mouth. You know, Michael Cohen is making money off this trial and will continue to make money. But we wanted to go up and be his voice. We go out and talk to the media. Of course, the judge, this corrupt judge, he wouldn't allow us to interview with the media in the court building. Now, I'm not talking about the courtroom. I'm talking about the building itself. We had to go out to the park out front, meet the media out there, as you see here on the screen. But the big thing was to be able to go and tell people what is actually going on. President Trump can't speak his voice, and that's wrong. Right. You know, it's unconstitutional. He said that all along. If you're going to put a gag order on one, you put it on the other. But that didn't happen because this guy's corrupt.
You know, Senator, it's one thing to hear reports from people who are in the courtroom talking about what's happening with the testimony. It's something else to actually be in the courtroom and listen to witnesses, to hear Cohen testify. What did you pick up today while you were in the courtroom yourself watching this testimony?
Well, you know, the one thing I learned, all of a sudden they play audio of Michael Cohen recording President Trump while they were talking about certain issues. I mean, how in the world can that happen? How can you record without President Trump, your client, knowing that you're recording? And then they played the recordings on the screen, and you could hear it, hear the audio. And there was nothing on it that actually said anything bad about what Donald Trump was supposed to have done. It just amazes me how this trial is going on. The guy's an habitual liar. You wouldn't buy a used car from him. He ought to be in jail, but he's their star witness. And at the end of the day, they might have some jurors that will vote against Donald Trump, but there's 4 or 5 of them that surely to goodness they got enough sense to see what's going on here.
That was yesterday, and I said that was on direct examination by the prosecution, Senator, that you heard that audio. But real quick, based on Michael Cohen did not get up there and say what he needed to say to prove Alvin Bragg's case. My only guess is Alvin Bragg just thought he was going to get a full jury of people who didn't like President Trump, and people who aren't smart and listen to the evidence.
Well, you're exactly right. And basically what he did, he convicted himself yesterday. He admitted he was a liar. He admitted he had made up things to make sure that he got the right answer to the jury. I'm not talking about this case. I'm talking about other cases. And so, you know, he can't tell the truth. So how in the world are you going to convict the former president of the United States with somebody that's a habitual liar that is admitted in front of a jury that he does lie.
Well, if you lie to courts, if you lie to Congress, what's to make us believe he's not going to lie to us today in court? I think that'll be the real question that Trump's team brings up. Coach Tommy Tuberville, Senator, always great to see you. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for being out there supporting President Trump.
Thank you.